Following Kevin, we'll have Thomas Getsy and Christina Aldridge.
You can't walk up and touch Congressman. You can in Ohio because we're rural people, so thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for doing this. And thanks for everybody showing up. This is awesome. My name's Kevin Spittler. I'm an Ohio native, born and raised right here in Toledo, right about 5 minutes down the road. Like I said, I've worked all my life here, did a lot of factory life work. A few years back, I got into a work accident. Electrical accident where the electrical bolt threw me like a rag doll across the factory floor. I screwed up my neck, C4, L4, L5, S1, S2, and acquired PTSD at a very heavy level where I had a lot of problems with electricity. I didn't want to plug in plugs in the walls. I don't know, the lightning storms. At that time, I looked into California and medical marijuana, and I seen a lot of these people, veterans especially, were benefiting from PTSD and different ways of administering cannabis. So at that point, back in 2008, I uprooted and migrated to Michigan, just like the gentleman David back here. And there's a lot of us that have done that. We've left our hometown, left our families. In my journey in Michigan, I actually operated 2 different medical marijuana dispensaries over in West Michigan, one in Battle Creek and one in Kalamazoo. First one was called Mother Nature's Meds. The second one was called Med Joint Community Convention Center. The second one was the big one. I actually was in operation for almost 2 years. I helped over 4,000 people. I helped the cancer patients. I helped the epileptics. I helped autism. I helped women with chronic PMS problems. I worked with a little gentleman, Roman, 6 different brain tumors. He's around today, doing really good. At one point, there was a statewide decision that actually shut me down. They were able to determine me as a public nuisance. Well, about the same time, back here in Toledo, my mother got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And it was bad. I don't think there's many other stages besides stage 4, but they were gonna do a Whipple procedure, which is basically gonna rip out all the different organs out of her. But they opened her up and she was so bad they just closed her right back up. At that point, I started helping my mom with a lot of different medical marijuana products, illegally, because I was in Michigan and she was here in Toledo with no access whatsoever, except for her doctor. Well, the doctors had said 3 months. I helped her stick around almost a year. She made all four of her son's birthdays, Christmas, and every other holiday in that year. And her last birthday, she passed away a week after that. She made her last big hoorah. But I tell you what, she didn't have any nausea, she didn't have a lot of them pain issues that are associated with the cancer fight, with the chemo. So at that point, when I realized what I did for my mother, that's when I said, I have to find a way to come back to Toledo, Ohio, and help other moms and dads and brothers and sisters that don't have a Kevin with the products or the knowledge to help with these different situations. And that's when I decided to create Toledo Hemp Center. LLC. Been in operation for 2.5 years now. Got almost 5,000 people coming to me. Cancer patients, kids and adults with seizures, autism, dogs, chronic pain. But I tell you what, of them 5,000 people that come into my store, 75–80% of them are over 50 years old. And these are people that aren't looking to get high, they're just looking for relief. But they get it. But that's not what I'm not here to talk about, cancer patients, the seizures, because everyone else has already done that. And I could sit here and talk about them for another hour, 2 hours, easy. I've invited both of you into my store already, through your assistance and so forth like that. I really do believe you need to come in there and really have a sit down with me. A lot more than I can say in 5 minutes or so. Now, real quick, how many in this room have lost a family member or a friend to heroin or opiate? That's almost everybody in here. How about you, gentlemen? Family member, maybe, friend? Very high percentage of the people are gonna have that situation. Myself, I've lost 4 friends in the past month to heroin overdose. And that's what's become more, I've got myself more involved in this fight too. I think one thing that everybody in this whole entire room can agree on is the pharmaceutical pills. The pills are what's fueling that said heroin epidemic.
Yeah.
According to a report from the Institute of Medicine, more than 100 million Americans suffer from chronic pain at a cost of around $600 billion a year in medical treatments and lost productivity. 11% of society. That's horrible. According to the Substance Abuse of Mental Health Services Administration, of the 21.5 million Americans 12 or older that had substance abuse disorder in 2014, 1.9 million had a substance use disorder involving prescription pain relievers, and 586,000 had a substance use disorder involving heroin. That is a lot of addictions. In 2014, Ohio was second in heroin overdoses. In 2014, heroin and prescription pain relievers took many of those 2,744 lives in Ohio. That's nearly 1 death every 3 hours last year. In Kentucky, there was more than 1,000 deaths, just heroin. Now in Indiana, we have an HIV outbreak. They have needle stores where you go and get yourself a needle, share needles, instead of, that's what we're looking at going down that path. Now, what we're doing to fight that epidemic is locally we have law enforcement, the first responders. They are putting people in treatment instead of jail, at least here in Locust County, which is, I mean, that's huge. That's a huge change in policy. And they're also using different, I want to call them reactive ways of fighting the epidemic with Narcan, like a treatment and so forth like that. But what about the proactive? What about the positive action, proactive avenues? And that's where I've come into play with the Toledo Hemp Center. As well as different ways of helping people with chiropractors, recovery centers, and so forth like that. But how can medical marijuana and what you guys are doing help to fight that heroin epidemic we have now? And that's where that sheet I gave it to you just now comes into play. it talks about the interaction between your opiates and your different medications and your CBD, cannabinoids in general.
Okay, Kevin, can you just try to please wrap up, because we need to be fair to
Right.
other people testify.
Right.
We cut them to 5 minutes, and
Like I said, I can go on for hours though.
I understand that you have a lot to say, but we have to be fair to everybody.
Right.
Okay, please.
Yep.
I'm trying to be respectful, sir.
Right. One of the biggest properties of cannabis is going to be the anti-inflammatory benefit. And that's why so many senior citizens are coming into my store. The people that are against marijuana are now using cannabis in a beneficial fashion. What you guys are doing can take full 100% effect against the heroin epidemic we have. Just keep that in mind.